Hi Year 9s, in today's lesson we're going to build on the work on prime factorisation we did in last lesson. Our title is HCFs and LCMs and the date is the 18th of the 4th, 2013. Now what are these about? Well, HCF, we're going to find the highest common factor of two numbers, and I'll go through what that is in a minute, and then we're going to find the lowest common multiple of two numbers, the LCM. Okay, let's start off by explaining what these two terms actually mean. Highest common factor. Suppose we had the number 8, okay, and we also had the number 20, and we wanted to work out the highest common factor of 8 and 20. Okay, well, what does this mean? Well, firstly, I'll explain to you. Let's write down the factors of 8. What numbers times to give 8? Well, you can have 1 times 8. You could have 2 multiplied by 4. 3 doesn't go into 8. 4 does, 4 times 2, but that's the same as 2 times 4. And that's it. 5, 6, 7 doesn't, and 8 does, but 8 times 1 is the same as 1 times 8. So these are the pairs that multiply to 8. What about 20? Well, you can have 1 times 20. You could have 2 times 10. 3 doesn't go into 20. You could have 4 times 5. 5 does, but it would be the same as 5 times 4. 6 doesn't, 7 doesn't, 8 doesn't, 9 doesn't, 10 does, but it's the same. And these are all the factors of 20. Now, the highest common factor is the biggest factor of both numbers, the biggest number that can divide into each of these. Now, scanning through, the biggest number in both lists here, well, 1's in both lists. Let's just see what's in both lists. 1's in both lists. What else is in both lists? 2 is in both lists, and 4 is in both lists. Now, which is the biggest number in both lists? The biggest number is the 4. So 4 is the highest common factor, HCF, of 8 and 20. It is the biggest number that divides into both the numbers you're thinking about. So to write down the definition, the highest common factor of two numbers is the biggest number that divides into both numbers. In this case, it was 4. Okay, I'm going to then move on to lowest common multiple, and then I want to show you how we can build on the prime number work we did yesterday to find these in a quicker way. Okay, so let's move on and look at the lowest common multiple of 8 and 20. So let's write 8 here and write 20 here, and I'm going to write out the times tables of 8. So 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, and let's say 80. Okay, and let's write out the times tables of 20, a few of the times tables, so it'd be 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, and 200. Now, the lowest common multiple of 8 and 20 is the smallest number in both their times tables. Now, what numbers are in both times tables? Well, 40 is in both their times tables, and also 80 is. Now, what's the smallest number in both? Well, in this case, the 40 is the smallest, and 40, therefore, is the lowest common multiple of 8 and 20. So the lowest common multiple of two numbers is the smallest number in both your numbers times tables. So let's go. Highest common factor is the biggest number that divides into both your numbers, and the lowest common multiple is the smallest number in both your numbers times tables. Right, I want to show you a nice neat way of calculating these by using the work we did yesterday. So if you want to find the highest common factor and lowest common multiple of two numbers like 8 and 20, you can firstly, step 1, do what we did yesterday and break the numbers up into their factor trees. You do the factor trees of each number, just like we did yesterday. So break this up, so 8 must be 2 times 2 times 2, and 20 must be 2 times 2 times 5. Then what you can do is you can draw yourself 2 little circles here. This just helps you visualize what's going on. Now this circle will represent 8 and this circle will represent 20. And what you do is any number that's in both lists goes in the middle. Okay, so there is a 2 in both your final answers, so you put a 2 there. There is another 2 in both your final answers, so you put a 2 there. Now there is one 2 left over with the 8, and that must go over here, and so you cross that off. And there is one 5 left over with the 20, so you put that here. Then, really neatly, the highest common factor is always these two numbers multiplied together. So it's going to be 2 times 2 is 4, which is what we got previously. And the lowest common multiple of those two numbers is always all the numbers times together. So the 2 times the 2 times the 2 times the 5. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 5, which is 40. And that's the same as we got before. So that's a lovely neat way of finding these highest common factor and lowest common multiples. I'll do one more example just to do everything this time. These was from our workings yesterday. So imagine our question was to find the highest common factor and lowest common multiple of 16 and 36. So the first thing you do is the factor trees. We did yesterday, factor trees. And remember our prime numbers that we care about are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, etc. Okay, so 16, you write 16. You look up here, does 2 go into it? Yes, 8 times. And you circle the 2 because it's prime. And then you say, does 2 go into 8? Yes, 4 times. And you circle the 2. And then you say to yourself, does 2 go into 4? Yes, 2 times. And you circle both of these, and you have yourself that 16 is therefore 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And you do the same beside it for 36. Does 2 go into it? Yes, 18 times. Then you go, does 2 go into this? Yes, 9 times. Then you ask yourself, does 2 go into this? No. So you go to 3. Does 3 go into this? Yes, 3 times. So therefore, 36 is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So you do step 1, and step 2, all you do, a nice easy step, you draw your circles out. Okay, this circle here is the 16 and this circle here is the 36. Anything in both lists goes in the middle. There's a 2 here, a 2 here. There's a 2 here, a 2 here. And that's all that's shared. And then the 2 and 2 left over here, 2 and 2 go here. And the 3 and 3 go here. Okay, and then you get for free the highest common factor is the 2 times the 2, which is 4, and the lowest common multiple is the 2 times the 2 times this 2 times this 2 times this 3 times this 3. And you tap that away in your calculator. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, and then you have 16 multiplied by 144, and you're done. So that's how you work out the highest common factor and lowest common multiple of two numbers. Okay, thanks for watching.